what are the best tools for pen testing, right? Everyone wants to know what is the number one thing you should use for this, the number one thing for that. Let's be honest. That is what a lot of people, when they go to YouTube, they search what is the best for this, what is the best for that. Those are the videos that get a lot of views, right? So, but in this video, I'm going to tell you something that it's not maybe the best for the algorithms. It's maybe not the best for clicks and views and stuff like that. I'm going to tell you that, even though people might say this is the best tool for this, the best tool for that, in most cases, as a pen tester, you want to avoid this type of thinking. Everyone has their own preferences and products, right? Some people more than others, right? I'm sure everyone knows those people that are, super loyal to their favorite game studios like Microsoft, their Xbox people, right? Versus PlayStation people versus the PC master race people, right? Well, as a pen tester, when it comes to this stuff, you want to be super tool agnostic. You want to be someone that, of course, everyone's going to, at the end of the day, everyone's going to have their preferences. But for the most part, you want to be someone that is an observer from the sidelines, right? In the shadows, basically, right? You want to be able to use each and every tool, right? Because different tools have different benefits and different, nuances to them, different niches. And not only that, when it comes to operating systems, especially things like that, we want to be able to test those things, and before we can break them, we need to know how to use them. We need to understand how they work. So that is something I talk about all the time on this channel. And as you are learning this stuff and watching these videos and applying what you learn, you'll be leveling up for sure. And pretty soon you're going to be ready to start applying to jobs. Definitely check out the link in the description below for the top 10 pen testing interview questions that you need to know when the time comes. But you really want to remain tool agnostic in this field. So one way that you can do that is, I'm going to challenge you today, is to make a small step. If you only use Windows, right? Maybe you're purely a Mac person. If you only use Windows or you only use Mac, I'm going to challenge you today to set up a dual, try to dual boot your system, right? Try to figure out how you can dual boot it. If you have enough hard drive space, try to dual boot into like Ubuntu or something like that. If you're a little bit more advanced. If you're a complete beginner and all you use is Windows, try to set up a VM. Set up Kali Linux in a VM and try to just use the operating system. Don't worry too much about the hacking stuff just yet. Just try to see if you could take some of the stuff you normally do and do it on like an Ubuntu machine or some kind of Linux machine, right? That's going to help you a lot, because one thing that I did kind of naturally, this kind of just happened to me. When I was in college, I was using a laptop, and this was my final year, actually, and the laptop that I was using got really slow. You know how you buy a laptop, and then 4 years later, it gets super slow. Well, that was the situation for me, and I really, when it comes to technology, I have a very low tolerance for slow technology and my computer being slow and things like that. So I didn't have the money at the time to buy a faster laptop. So instead what I did was I installed Linux on my Windows machine. So I wiped Windows completely. I completely dove into the deep end here, wiped Windows completely, and installed Ubuntu, and that was my daily driver at school. Now, at the same time, I did have a desktop that was running Windows, so that made it pretty nice. I would say, in the past, I have went full on into Linux and Linux only. Personally, I do not prefer that. I know there are some people out there that will say that, it's fine for them, it works for them. But with the tools and stuff that I use, a lot of them are Windows only. Now, can I find, alternatives that are available on Linux? Yeah, sure. I suppose I could, but it is, if you ever try to go full Linux, you'll see that it is a bit of an inconvenience. So one thing that I prefer to do and I would recommend is have a Windows system on the side, or Mac, or whatever you're comfortable with, but also start incorporating another operating system that you're newer to. So when I had my laptop running on Linux, the thing that makes that a lot better than just having a VM is that when you're using something very consistently as one of your main systems, there's a lot of little errors here and there, or little challenges, let's just say, that are going to come up, and you're going to have to figure out a way to get things working. And through that, you're going to end up Googling a bunch of stuff. And through that, you're going to start learning a lot and getting a lot more experience naturally with that operating system. Now, being tool agnostic is more than just operating system. That's one huge thing that, comes to mind, obviously, but there's also a matter of, our hacking tools that we use every day. So even if we're using, say, Kali Linux, maybe there's some tools on there that you use all the time, like GoBuster. That might be something you're comfortable with. Challenge yourself to use some other tools for the directory brute forcing, maybe Fuff or PharoBuster, or different tools, Dirbuster. And the more tools that you know how to use, the better pen tester you're going to be, because you're not always able to use your favorite tool in every situation. There might be some circumstances where you want to live off the land, right? That's something that we're going to be diving into in that Red Team series. If you guys vote on that, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, that video should be coming out in a few days. But we'll be diving into some living off the land. That's definitely a scenario where there might be your preferred tool that you would feel really comfortable doing the thing in, but you want to have good OPSEC. You don't want to be detected. So you got to do this another way. There might be a situation where your favorite tool just for some reason is not working well on, enumerating whatever you're trying to enumerate or whatever attack you're trying to do. But if you know how to use this other tool, it can do the same thing and it won't run into the issues, because the nuance of the tool, how it's working, under the hood, it might be better for that situation. So, file transfers is a great example, right? Maybe there's a file transfer method that you're really comfortable with, but for whatever reason, you're not able to use that there. Maybe it's, they don't have that tool installed that you would need, or whatever, right? So point being is you want to be tool agnostic as a pen tester, know multiple ways to do everything, and you're going to find yourself in a very good position. So hopefully that one helped you. And if you want to get into some technical content, I have that on the screen for you right now. See you guys right over in those videos. Thanks for watching.